I realize that as a sports fan, it's very hard sometimes to be patient. It really, really is. Because time is the most precious commodity that we have in our lives. And being patient by nature means that you sit and wait. And sometimes means you lose time. Not always the best position to be in, right? And certainly for Chicago fans, you get like these little aberrations, these little blips on the radar of some great success, followed by a whole bunch of suck. Doesn't matter what Chicago team you're talking about, that's the standard, that's the way it goes. So Bears fans have had to come to grips with being, in some cases, incredibly patient. Chicago fans and Bears fans specifically. Which sometimes leads to dopey Bears fans sitting there and smoking the hopium peace pipe of Bears football! Now, in goddamn good and well, it's a dumpster fire of an organization. The Chicago Bears have tried my patience for so damn long. I realize a lot of Bears fans are perfectly content, like going into 2023. They're like, oh, if this team wins 7 or 8 games, that's progress. Fuck that and fuck you! If the best that the Bears could do coming out of a season where they had the number 1 overall pick in the draft and the most cap space with a quarterback that's supposed to be the guy is 7 or 8 wins, then the question you should be asking is, why the fuck would everybody still have a job at that point? That's pathetic. That's unacceptable. That is Bears football mediocrity to the highest damn order. So of course, it's an addiction for Bears fans. And you look at this crap involving Chase Claypool. And let's be really, really honest, Bears fans. What are the odds that this Chase Claypool deal doesn't look like a total dumpster fire disaster? What are the odds that this deal really works out? Like, what are the odds? Put down the hopium pipe. Stop being a dopey Bears football fan for a moment and really assess the situation and really be honest. You know the odds of that are not great. If you had to put a percentage on it not looking like a total shit show of a deal, it's probably 25-ish% and probably less. It's the reality, right? Like, you can make all the excuses you want about new system, traded midseason, blah, blah, blah. But the fact of the matter is, Chase Claypool came in last year for the Bears, and in those 7 games, he stunk. Period. He had no discernible impact, made no real difference. You could tell yourself all you want that that's going to get significantly better, but here's some painful truth for you. The Steelers are an organization in recent years, generally speaking, have had a pretty good feel for the wide receiver position in terms of talent evaluation. They certainly have. He was their wide receiver 3. They were willing to trade him. They found their huckleberry, somebody stupid enough to give him a second-round pick, and potentially a high second-round pick in that. Like, it's one of those things of, if he was so damn good, why would they be trading him with a year and a half left on his rookie scale contract when they just drafted a young quarterback in round 1 in Kenny Pickett and needed to do all they could to help him be the guy? Like, you got to ask these questions sometimes. The most important question can be, why? Like, if you look at last season, why would the Seahawks trade away Russell Wilson? You fucking found out, right? Sometimes you look at some of these things, you got to ask that most important question, why? And perhaps you already know the answer. The reason the Steelers traded away Chase Claypool is they knew they really didn't need him. They knew he wasn't that great, and they didn't have any confidence that he was going to unleash this potential. Because the reality is, he plays smaller than he is, and he plays slower than he is. You look at Chase Claypool, you like the illusion, the thought of what you believe he could be, all the while ignoring what the reality of what he actually is. And that is a disappointment. Now, his first couple of seasons in the league, they weren't terrible by any stretch of the imagination. But it's not like this is a guy that had any 1,000-yard receiver seasons. This is not like this is a guy that showed that he could be the number one. You know, and as far as looking at this deal, like, it goes even just beyond Chase Claypool in terms of whether or not this deal is going to end up panning out in any other way, or is it going to be a raging fucking dumpster fire? Look at the Bears. It was clear and obvious to me last year that Luke Getsy didn't know what the fuck to do with Chase Claypool. He had no clue. So even if Chase Claypool wasn't the shits last year, he still would have been the shits because gutless Getsy put him up. I'm the offensive coordinator. I got courage. I know what I'm doing. 36 halfback dive. Even if Claypool wasn't the shits, he still would have been the shits because Luke Getsy is the shits as a play caller. At least he was last year. So you look at the situation and the scenario, and you say, how does this look like anything other like a really dumb dick-ass move by Ryan Poles? You gave away a second-round pick that ended up being the 32nd overall pick, which is borderline right at the top of round 2, damn near a first-round pick, right? To bring in a wide receiver that's never shown you can be the number one, to trade for a wide receiver who's never had a 1,000-yard season, and instead of drafting somebody in round 2 with that pick, or packaging it to move into the bottom of round 1 to get a guy that you have 4 or 5 years of rookie scale contract control over them, you trade for Chase Claypool to get 1.5 of the same. What the fuck are you doing? And then you look at the offensive philosophy of the Bears. They are a run-first, run-heavy team. You can tell yourself, well, they're going to want to throw it more this year. How much more? And when you say, well, they'll throw it quite a bit more. Well, even quite a bit more is not going to be that great. That's a Bears team last year that threw for like 2,500 yards as a team the entire fucking season. 2,500 yards! 2,500 yards! But yeah, Chase Claypool as the third or even fourth option in the passing game for the Bears behind DJ Moore, behind Darnell Mooney, and I would argue behind Cole Kmet. He's going to put up decent big numbers this year. Unless one or two of those guys in front of him gets injured, which is a problem in and of itself. How in the fuck is Chase Claypool even going to get enough opportunities in this offense with the philosophy that they have and the other players that are around him that are frankly better at what they do as pass catchers than Chase Claypool? How in the fuck is this deal going to work out or look like anything other than one of the shittiest deals the Bears have made in a long time? Probably the worst since the second round pick given up for James Adams, rest in peace? It's that bad right now. Fucking dumb sit there and give up a second round pick for somebody else's wide receiver 3. So instead of having somebody under control for 4 years on a rookie scale contract, you get him for 1.5. I hope to God it works out. Believe me, I do. But I'm 42. The Bears last won the Super Bowl in '94. I know you probably get tired of hearing of it, but fuck it. Bears football is a long goddamn time. I am tired of being patient. This organization has done absolutely nothing to deserve that patience. Ryan Poles, until proven otherwise, has done absolutely nothing to sit there and earn the benefit of the doubt. Well, you got to give him a chance. Why the fuck do I have to give him a chance? It's his job to get the job done. It's his job to put up results. And it's all I see was this was a guy who in his first year in the job didn't start out to fully tank and then came to the realization later, almost screwed that up, got lucky at the end of the year, and traded away a high second round pick for a wide receiver 3 and maybe the 4th option in this team's passing game. Fuck that. I hope to God this Chase Claypool deal doesn't end up looking like a dumb dick move, but right now there's absolutely nothing that you could point to other than your Bears football hopium to suggest this will be anything other than a really dumbass move type of trade that you will regret and bitch about for years.